It's a weak man who goes and steals. It's a weak man who beats the shit out of a girl. It's a weak man who shoots up a school. This is all weak men stuff.
Beat it up, catch a charge. Let me tell you something. I will catch a charge. No problem. I don't have remorse. Girls come to me and go, yeah, beat it up. I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. No, I mean it. No, bitch, I mean it. I guarantee I changed the way you look at sex forever. You're gonna be fucking crying. I won't cry. I bet you cry, bitch. I bet you fucking cry. Don't challenge me. You're effectively challenging me to a fight now. You're saying I wouldn't cry. You're challenging me to a fight. You're saying I can't hurt you. You're out of your fucking mind? Because it's not going to be like, oh, hurt them enough so they enjoy it. No, I'm just going to straight hurt you. I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. No sex. No sex involved. But you cry then. Yeah, you want distraction from the dick. Well, that distracts me. I'm trying to fucking fight. No, I just want to fight. Say that shit to me again. These hoes out of control. Can I say this on YouTube? Yeah, I can say this on YouTube. I've legitimately done that. Girls running their mouth. I just start beating the fuck out of them, not even having sex. They love it more than ever. They like it more. The less sex you have with them, the better. She asked for it.
I'll belt because you're a jerk. Show me the bruises. 1, 2, 3. Oh, baby. Oh, poor thing. I have an idea. You know what my idea is? You want to know what my idea is? That's right, lock the door, you knew I was going to beat the out of you. If you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I? You don't. Get out. You can't stay in there forever.
We have a man here who has spoken to a woman in a very nice, polite, kind way, has never even had a BDSM relationship with her, hasn't hurt her, hasn't hit her, only spoke to her nicely.
Did I say the word listen? Did I say the word listen? Hey, stupid bitch. I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen? Did I say listen?
No.
Look at the camera. Did I say listen?
No.
Did I say listen to you? Did I say it?
No.
Did I say it? Stupid bitch. Look at the camera. This is what happens, you don't listen. Look at the camera. Why are you getting hit? Why are you getting beaten?
I don't listen.
You don't listen. You. Do as I say.
Has never even had a BDSM relationship with her, hasn't hurt her, hasn't hit her, only spoke to her nicely. She is saying he is nice. She is saying he did nothing. Okay, she's brainwashed and he used lover boy. You can't even be nice anymore.
I had one girl and she got too drunk one day and she threw up in my apartment. I told her to clean up. She refused to clean up, started being an idiot. So I took her stuff, threw out the window. Because it's like, it's about that. With women, you never hit a girl, right? Can't do that. But if
we learned that the hard way last week.
You can't hit them. But if all the other girls see me be disrespected, they're going to lose respect for me.
Facts.
Right?
Yep.
So when she's like, I ain't cleaning that up, you get that. So I was like, look, I don't care. And she was my biggest earning girl. She made me on her own maybe $25,000 a month.
Oh, shit.
So I didn't want to fire her. And she knew I didn't want to fire her, which is more reason why I had to fire her ass. So I was like, all right, cool. You want to be a gangster? Right, you're a gangster. Got her shit. We're like high up. We're like high up, like here. It was just out the window. So throws out the window. Got her by her two arms and marched her out the door, locked the door, end of it. She starts texting me, you owe me my last month's wages, you owe me my money, give me my money. Did I text her back? I ain't paying you nothing. You threw up my blah, 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 blah. She went to the police.
Oh, shit.
And told the police I hit her when I didn't. There's a few things I can't say in the podcast. I've lived a varied life, right? I've done some things when I had to pay the bills.
Women are most programmable, especially during sex. That's when women are most programmable because they're most vulnerable. Like sex as a man is a weapon you need to use. You have to deny it. You have to give it. You got to give it good. Yep. You got to give it bad. You got to use it right. And when I say there's ways you can fuck her like she doesn't mean anything in a way that she enjoys, and ways you can fuck her like she doesn't mean anything in a way she doesn't enjoy. If I tell her she's mine forever in her ear while she's coming, she starts to believe she's mine forever.
Yeah.
You're mine forever, no matter what. Choke her so she can barely fucking breathe. Tell her she's yours forever. They're going to believe it. You can program them. They are programmable beings. They're designed to be programmed. You just have to be a large enough force to program her. That's all you have to be is be a force in nature.
So I went to the investigator. They kept me in a cell for a day and a half. They sent officers to raid my house, took all my electronics, took all my phones, all my laptops, went through my entire personal life, found 11 new things to raise charges against me for. It's unrelated because the original case got dropped because she had no evidence and she was lying because all the other girls in the house went to on my behalf
and testified against her.
She's lying.
Yeah, right.
So they're like, okay, but we've been through his life. He has a Lambo and a bunch of pussy and he's enjoying himself. And that's not allowed in the Western world. So we've been through his life and we found 11 new reasons to raise crap against him. So I had 11 new charges, blah, blah, blah. And I just woke up one day and said, I cannot live in this I will not live under a government that will do this to me when I've done nothing wrong. So I had to leave and go somewhere. And by coincidence, I had a fight coming up in Romania. So I went and fought in Romania. And I just thought, you know what? I'll hang around here for a few months. And then boom, 5 years later, I'm still there. So that's the long, varied story of how I ended up in Romania.
This is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania, because in Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. If you're going to go to the police and say he raped me back in 1988, they're going to say we should have done something about it then. If you go to the police and say he raped me yesterday, say, okay, if you got physical evidence, or is there CCTV proof? Where'd it happen? Okay, let's go interview him right now. And if it wasn't really rape, I'd say, we went to the club, we got drunk, she agreed to go back to my house, we started having sex, and then we carried on having sex, and then we had sex, and she didn't say anything wrong, and then she texted me afterwards, and I didn't text back, and now she's saying I raped her. The police would be like, okay, she's an idiot, bye. But no, not in the West. In the West, you can tell them that exact story, you're still fucked. You're fucked in the West. When people say, why did you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say, to do what I want. I like being free. And if you're a man living in England or Germany or America or any of the Western world right now, you've decided to live in a country where any woman, any ex, any fucking bitch who works at Greg's who you bought a pasty from, at some point in the future can destroy your life. I did a podcast where I was discussing corruption. I discussed which country I believe is the most corrupt country in the world. They start a lot of wars. And the answer to that by the person I was discussing it with is, well, you live in Romania, Romania is corrupt. I said, Romania is corrupt, correct. But I don't think there's certainly corruption, but they don't start monumental wars which end up in millions of deaths. I would argue that their corruption, because a policeman stops me and I can bribe my way out of a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, is far less destructive.
Oh no, not court in Romania. Woo-hoo. The internationally respected Romanian courts. Put me in jail. You put me in jail. I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this. Guards. Boom, 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 boom. Get some hose. This sells mine. Bang, bang. Before you know, I'll be chilling. I'll be the best quarantine ever. I'm ready. Put me in jail. I don't give a fuck.
Can I ask, why do you choose to live there?
In Romania?
Yeah, I know you have like businesses and things going on there, but why there?
Because Western society is degraded and Western society is more corrupt. So I think the Western world, there's something that very much angers me about the Western world. I don't feel comfortable here. I don't like the way it functions and operates. I think it's the most corrupt, disgusting, degraded societies on earth. There's nothing left besides money and corporate agenda. And I like living in countries where, one, there's some kind of moral fiber beyond the dollar. And two, I like living in countries where corruption is accessible for everybody. So in Romania, where I happen to live, it's the most Christian country on earth. There's churches everywhere. People see a higher power beyond simply just money and government. They believe in God. That's another reason I like spending time in Dubai. It doesn't matter if it's Allah or God or whatever you want to call him. I like that. And also I like Eastern Europe as a whole because corruption's far more accessible. I find it offensive that a police officer in England will stop me for speeding and then refuse to take a bribe and pretend that no, but I'll tell you why. Because he'll sit there and go, no, this is the law and order, and pretend that the law means something. And fuck me over. But if you're a billionaire or if you're Boris Johnson, you can go to Epstein's Island. You can fucking throw parties during COVID. You can do whatever the fuck you want, right? So the whole idea of law and order is a lie. The whole idea of it's bullshit. It's just about if you're high enough, you can throw it all away. I'd rather be in a society where if I'm in Prague and they stop me for speeding and they say, bro, you were speeding. Oh, here's $50. All right, cool. Bye. If corruption exists, which it does, let us all play. Why do only they get to play and I don't get to play? So you live in England and they're going to come around and spout law and order at you all day long, but the elites, they ignore all law and order. It's always been bullshit. It's always been lies.
I've had it where I've had girls who say, oh, I know you're with Vivian. I know you've been with her a long time. I don't mind. I'll stay out tonight. You two stay alone. All that shit. But it never lasts long. Because the ones who are really in love with you won't do that. You actually have to downplay your relationship with the girl of 6 years, which is difficult. And I only get away with that because the girl of 6 years plays along. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. And we met and we felt whatever, we're in love. But when a new girl comes, she'll go, oh yeah, I started off working for him and it's just how it worked out. She'll super downplay us. when I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28, Vivian's like 21. Vivian's younger, she's more fun, more outgoing. Melissa's really quite, not in a bad way, she's more homey, boring, sits at home. So if you're gonna pair a girl with a girl, it's much easier if the girl's fun. I met Vivian in Slovakia. We had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England. It's a really long story. I don't want to tell you the whole story. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company, which I started. If you don't have a webcam company, you need to look into it, because as soon as you have a couple girls in love with you, it's the fucking easiest money in the world. No, I take that back. It's not easy money. You got to build it up. But once you get girls built up, then it's free money. Like every other business, you got to build it up. But I decided I want to start a webcam business. Vivian's beautiful. I said, look, stop being a waitress. Come here, live with me. She came. Everything was fine for a couple of weeks. Melissa obviously lived in England. They didn't know about each other. They found out. They tried to have a big argument with me. I did exactly as I said, downplayed it, didn't give a shit. Everyone moved in together. Everyone started doing webcam. I was making loads of money. Then we agreed to the split like we said. And that's basically been it. Since then, new girls have come along. Vivian understands that I'm fucking these hoes, but I don't care about these hoes. The first big money I ever made in my life, I first became a multimillionaire by running a webcam studio. So I had beautiful women sitting on computers talking to guys on webcams from all around the world. That's how I first made my money. And at one point, I had 75 women in 4 locations working for me, which was stressful and the wrong way to do it. I ended up removing my army and going to special forces of around 15 people, 15 girls. And me and my brother made a lot of money doing that. But the PhD course, the Pimping Hoes degree, was teaching people how I managed females in those scenarios, how I controlled their emotions, how I convinced them to work and give me most of their money, how I convinced them to share me with other women, why they obeyed me. So it was never so much about out there picking up girls. It was actually something else. It was more about the psychology of things. And I'm saying, look, I'm a theorist, here's the theory. Yeah. That's fine. And he's managed to be quite successful just doing that. If he were to start lying and saying, I'm fucking all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is in America. 18?
It's 18 usually. You get married at 16. I think.
All right, in Romania it's 16, sorry. Yeah.
First, we're going to get to the real entertainment value. So, this is a good question. Tips on raising daughters so they don't end up 304s, prostitutes, on the pole, OnlyFans, etc. Most men I know don't have daughters for these reasons. I'll chime in very quickly and I'll say, 1, I have recruited, I think, although you've worked with a lot, more girls into, I guess, the adult entertainment industry than anyone else. I really have. And the one type of girl I couldn't recruit were girls with rich parents. Oh, do that for money. I don't need money. My family's rich. So when I see these broke boys on Twitter and on Instagram be like, oh, my daughter, I'm raising her right, and she's like 9 years old, but he like works some crappy job. He's a wagey. I'm like, she's going to get that Louis Vuitton purse one way or another. So you might want to level up your game and buy it for her, my G.
The temptation is certainly there if they're not completely and utterly financially independent or financially secure. If they're completely financially secure, it's more difficult to try and move them into those kind of industries.
So for me, fighting was just an outlet, because if I didn't put it into fighting, I would end up in jail. But the majority of my money was actually made in the pimp game. I say that, people think I'm making it up. It's true. This is why I think I have a bit of a following on Twitter, because I have a unique resume. Like, there's a whole bunch of guys on, but not many like world champion kickboxer, pimp, mafia associated criminal. Like, I've got all this stuff, and it was like, who is this dude? Like, surely it can't all be true. Well, it's all true. I had a fight coming up. The fight was too far away from money, and I needed money today. So I was sitting there thinking, how can I make money? What do I have that's worth money? Like, what do I have that I can even sell? And I was sitting there, and the only thing I had was all these girlfriends. I was sitting there writing down my assets. Like, what do I own? What do I possess? I said, well, I got these 7 hot chicks. Plus, I'm a master of the game. Long story short, I decided to start with webcam, and I flew all the girls into England. I needed money, man. I needed to get paid. I didn't have time to be messing around. Like, that's how I made it to the top. That's basically my story. I mean, I was a fighter, and because I had game, I just ended up in the pimp game, and I built this webcam business.
So what are you charged with?
That's a really good question. I'm charged with being the head of an organized criminal group, which is in charge of recruiting girls to make TikTok videos to steal the money from the TikTok views. And why does everyone think we're mafia? We're not mafia. Like, we don't run around with machine guns. I mean, obviously we have guns. Our house is full of machetes. Are we mafia? Anyway, I don't think I'm mafia. So I said to Tristan, look, we're not mafia. And Tristan goes, yes, we are. And I said, why? He goes, we're 2 huge fighting brothers with women naked on the internet who own casinos, who drive around Bucharest, Romania in over $2 million worth of fucking supercars. Everyone's afraid of us. And if anyone did piss us off at any point, even if we didn't want to fuck them up ourselves, we can make one phone call and they'd either be in a ditch or lose their any right to stay here. They'd have some visa issue and get kicked out the country, or arrested for no reason and put in a jail cell for months at a time. We are basically as mafia as you can get. So I guess I'm mafia. I didn't mean to be. So I was sitting there going, well, I never intended on being an organized criminal. How do you end up being mafia? And I didn't sell drugs. Long time ago now. I can be honest and open about my past. I was a fighter, but fighting wasn't paying the bills, sold drugs, whatever. So I'm selling drugs. I didn't really like selling drugs. I didn't like the anxiety. I didn't like the idea of getting caught. I didn't like the violence, the stabbing. I have my stabbing stories already on Twitter. I'll put it when I take speech up. Someone tried to stab me. In the town I was in, Luton, the worst town in the world. I mean, I've got a PhD, a pimp and hose degree. When you see a man like me at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday morning at a gas station in a $400,000 sports car, I get out of the Lambo, there's a bitch in the front. I get out and putting gas in. Do you look at me and go, he studied really hard in school? Or do you look at me and think, drug dealer? You think drug dealer because you understand you must break the rules to make money. Doctors have followed the rules their whole lives and they're driving Citroens. You have to break the rules to make money. You have to understand that the system is designed to keep you poor. I will teach you how to break the rules. Don't be like the doctors and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on an education that will get you a Citroen. You can come to me, spend less than $1,000 on an education. I didn't sell drugs.